I'm all like, woo! And Jada's like, and I'm Jada.
Because you know what? I never know what my Wi-Fi is gonna do. So I'm like, can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? I don't know.
I'm Jada.
Hi.
I'm punch drunk today. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming back and joining us today. You know our songs, the one that warns people that we might be too racy for them. I'm
Yeah.
over here like jamming.
Me
I'm
too.
like,
I'm like,
I always dance.
Me too.
I'm always jamming right before we get on here to kind of build the hype.
Well, I missed you last week.
Oh my God, you didn't die from COVID. I'm so glad you're back with us.
Girl, let me tell you what, people. COVID is still in these streets. Okay.
Woo!
It is still
No joke.
in these
You know,
streets.
you and your son are not the only two. My friend Aylin, she got it really bad like you did. And then today my friend Phil got it, who lives up in San Francisco. And it's crazy out there.
You know what? I had a client reach out to me today because last week I was so sick. Obviously, I had to cancel my trip that I did pay for to come to California. But I had a client because I had to cancel a lot of my meetings, and my client texted me today and she's like, "You jinxed me. I've got COVID." And this is the third time.
Third?
Had it. Third
Jesus,
time. And
what
she
is she
said
out licking all of, like,
no, but you know
handrails
what?
and
She
shit?
just went on vacation. She was in Colombia. And
Oh,
so she
Colombia.
was on a girls' trip and she's just like, I am dying. She's like, I can't taste anything. I'm
She
like,
not follow the rule, what happens in Colombia stays in Colombia.
stays
She
in
brought that shit
Colombia.
back.
She brought that shit back. I miss your face. How are you? Tell me what's
I
going
miss
on.
you too. I'm good. I'm very good. Just trying to get through to the holidays and it's it's life. Life is interesting. I'm working my ass off. I just put my link up. I want to do this before the end of the show like I did last time. I'd
Vote
rather do it
for
now.
Christine. Vote for Christine. Vote for
Vote.
Christine.
So for those of y'all who don't know, I am a baker. I have a small pie company called My Granny's Kitchen in a Pie. I'm trying to extend that company into Vegas and do a company called Pot Pie Cannabis Bakery. It is a mini pie. They are amazing. And I'm trying to do that. And by doing that, I am in the competition, The Greatest Baker. And it requires votes. And today is the last day, 7 p.m. Pacific time. So there's still time for people to vote to get me in to the final round, the top 15 people. And I have been in first, second, and third place all this time. We are scrolling it across the screen, but I'm going to say it for those of you who are listening because later, by the way, I'm going to make it into the finals. You can vote every day, once a day for free. And it is greatestbaker.com/2023/Christine Lalonde. So that's CHRISTINE LALONDE. So
you can click the link in the things you're
bio.
listening to. It's right in the chat. Just click the link and vote.
Yes, vote.
Thank
I'm
you,
so
Rebel.
excited. I have to win this thing because not only will it give me $10,000 that I can use to pay for the what's it called? I just drew a blank. I'm so excited I drew a blank. A business plan. I have to do a business plan and I also have to hire an attorney to help me purchase the license that I need and to get into this thing where I can get an investor. And not only that, but it's going to put me in this baking magazine, featured in this baking magazine, and that will help launch the company as well. So thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Vote,
I've been doing videos on YouTube and TikTok and Facebook and blah blah blah. You know, I don't know what's harder, baking or doing this. Doing this.
You think so?
Well, what I
Fun.
mean by doing this is like getting people to fucking vote for me.
Oh yeah.
Jesus. Though I have some loyal ass fucking followers. They have been on it and they have
That's
been
good.
double posting and sharing. So it's really great.
I love it.
But yeah. Well, I'm excited to bring on our guest today.
Me
Some of
too.
you are going to recognize this handsome face. He has been on the show a couple of times. One in particular that I remember is when he did men's mental health episode. That was a great one. I think we did a one called advanced adulting or something like that. Anyway,
Yeah.
Bradley's coming back to see us today. He is going to help us talk about surviving the holidays when you're single. He is the founder of Advanced Adulting. Brad Richardson is also a coach and he creates content to help grown ass adults navigate the shift and changes of midlife. He is a 5-time best-selling author, speaker, coach, and executive who has been featured in the Wall Street Journal, Rolling Stone, you go boy, and on Good Morning America, NPR, and more. He's a 50-something, fifth-generation Texan. I love those Texan boys. And single father of 3 grown kids. He lives in Dallas. He is most often found on TikTok and Instagram. We're going to also link his information during the show and in the show notes so you can find him in case you need help with adulting. So let's bring on Bradley.
Hello.
Hi, Bradley.
How y'all doing?
We're
Good, how are you?
great. Love seeing your happy face.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to see y'all again.
Bradley, you're so handsome.
Well, thank you.
know,
Thank you.
He's very handsome.
Sucks. He's got a
I'm
hot
moisturized.
girlfriend too. Damn it.
I do. I do have a very gorgeous girlfriend. We're in the other room. So, yes. Very
Yep.
happy.
I will keep my comments to myself.
She is quite lovely. We
It's quite
can
lovely,
lust after
yes.
you though, right, Bradley? I mean, it's
sorry?
okay. It's okay if we still lust after you.
Sure.
You know, I do respect the fact that you have a really great relationship. I love seeing you
Yeah.
guys on
Thank you.
social media. She is quite stunning. You are a lucky man. So, so that's that. But it won't stop me from saying, "Damn it, Bradley." No, just kidding.
Thank you.
I love to tease. Anyway, so hi, we're back. This is great. We are talking about getting through the holidays when you're single. Some people get really depressed. Some people do what's called cuffing season, where they pair up with somebody
Right.
just to get through the holidays, which whatever.
That's the stupidest thing in the world.
It's the
Isn't it?
dumbest thing. Yes. Mhm.
Listen,
Yeah.
I don't want to have to buy a Christmas present for just anybody.
You're right. I mean, why cuffing season? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's a reasoning behind the name behind it, but I mean, great. I mean,
I
look,
don't get the name.
we've all been insecure at some point, but geez, how insecure do you have to be? Like, I can't go through the holidays without having someone, even though they suck, and I'm gonna get rid of them later, but I have to be with somebody. It's like,
Yeah, I'm not into it either. Well, I'm glad you don't like it either, Bradley. So tell us, what are some of the things that you think that will help people get through the holidays if they're like feeling like they need to have somebody, or they're feeling lonely, or they don't want to go to holiday parties alone?
you know, here's the funny thing. I mean, when you reached out to me, it's you asked about the holidays, and there's a couple of aspects to it. And so I know the nature of the show. So we're talking about two people who may be single, maybe without somebody right now. But really, a lot of this applies to anyone, okay? Because it's about surviving the holidays. And, you know, that's just it. And there's so much to it. When I do want to address the idea of loneliness, of being without someone. But I think the biggest thing is, and look, I would love to say my history has been like a Hallmark movie, okay, which is total bullshit too. But it's I think a lot of people, my own experience, and a lot of people that I work with, the grown ass adults, the advanced adulting, is, we assign so much meaning to the holidays. I think
Yeah.
that's the thing right there is that, whether it was something that it used to be as a child, whether it was how we think things should be, okay, based on social media or the Hallmark Channel or whatever bullshit's out there, we think it should look this certain way, and that we assign meaning to it. That if I'm lonely, it's a horrible holiday. If I'm not with somebody, and look, I mean, I had I have not had great holidays. I've had good ones, but we hang on to so much. And so what we do oftentimes is we look to fill that hole, to fill that void, or we spiral. We spiral of, they broke up during this holiday. I'm single and I wonder what they're doing now. They're probably having a great time. And the thing is, holidays aren't that great. I am Johnny Optimist, but I don't want to sound like a Grinch on this, but it's just true. We overestimate how awesome holidays are. And the fact of the matter is, it would be better to be by yourself than being in a relationship that sucks, or being with someone that sucks, or being with someone who any number of things. I can tell you, the loneliest I've ever been was when I was married and I had someone to be every holiday with.
Yeah.
It was awful.
100%.
And I think that's a big thing. I mean, we can give tips and tactics, but one of my favorites on that is this. It's 24 hours. It's 24 hours. That is it. And granted, I know Christmas starts, pretty much at the end of summer now, and it'll be all the way
pretty
in.
much.
But I think that's a big thing is when we realize that, it really is 24 hours that you'll get through. And when I say that we assign meaning to things, we start down with a spiral. We think it's going to be so tough. And the idea is it's another day. That's not to say callous. That's not to say completely dismiss everything. But if you're having a hard time with it, it's 24 hours and you're going to wake up and guess what? It's going to be the next day and it's going to be all right. So,
yeah, I'm not a big fan of the holiday season anyway. I always felt like, Ari, I don't know the word I'm searching for right now, but I always feel like there's something pressuring people to buy, spend, overextend yourself. You always got to have somebody to be with. And like you said, the Hallmark fantasies of meeting someone and it's just like this whirlwind romance. And
you mean not everybody goes back home to a small town and finds the handsome veterinarian who's recently widowed?
I go back home to my small town and it's all my cousins.
It's not Hallmark Channel.
Yeah. And you find the people who still have a handful of teeth. That's it.
Yeah, and some people back home have not aged well. So.
You know what? It's interesting. I did an article for LinkedIn a couple weeks ago, and it was on embracing the holidays with self-love. And it was all about like, you don't have to be, we, again, Hallmark Channel, like we're so inundated with like couples, and you see couples in the commercials having coffee. You see it's couples, but that's not necessarily what the holiday should be about. No. So I love this topic because self-love is the best love, first of all. And the holidays, if you're single.
Absolutely. I want to come back to the self-love thing for sure, because I think that's a great way to address it, to get through it. But, just to put a nail in this whole thing of how things should look and the appearance and the whole bullshit from whether it's social media or the Hallmark Channel or whatever, is we have these perceptions of the way we feel that the holiday should look, and that you should be completely, family everywhere. Guess what? Okay, you're going to go somewhere and you have to go to the big family dinner. You hate your cousin. You think he's an asshole. Okay, and that your in-laws are going to be digging on you. I mean, it's not always that way. But the point is, we think, it's going to be so great. No, you're going to be dealing with the same exact thing. And it was funny because I remember vividly. So I was married for a number of years, and she didn't like Christmas. Okay, didn't like Christmas and dogs, which should have been my first. First indication right there, this was a bad deal. But I'm not. I was basically what I'd call your C&E Christian. You know, I mean, I'm not saying spirituality, but it's like I grew up in West Texas. So you go Christmas, you go Easter. That's it.
Yeah.
I remember one time I had to go by myself because she wouldn't go. And so I looked there and I'm looking around and I felt that. And I went down this rabbit hole of thinking, God, you know, your family and your wife and your kids are back there. And here you are doing this by yourself. This sucks. This isn't Christmas. This blows. And I looked around and I'm in Dallas. I'm living up in North Dallas. And I look around, it's all the perfect, beautiful families and all of this. And, you know, you're just thinking, oh my God. And then I saw some people that I knew. And I looked around this and I thought, here I am caught up in this whole thing of how it looks. And you realize this one over here is, you know, just drunk on Thursdays at tennis league. This one's sleeping with his admin. This one over here is kids. You know, and you just realize it kind of puts it in perspective of, you know, now everybody's going through their own stuff. Everybody's living life. And, you know, we put excessive meaning. We put people on pedestals, things on pedestals, rather than just looking at, hey, what's my life right now? And back to Jada's point of self-love. How can I enjoy this day, enjoy my life, and create, you know, I'm a big, you know, reinvention guy, okay? Because they don't have to look a certain way, especially the older you get, whether you get crankier and you're older and you're like, you know what, I don't have to do things a certain way. That didn't work out for me. So reinvent or establish your own, just your own way of doing things, your own habits, your own, you know, new ceremonies, your own rituals, anything.
Yeah.
Whether that's you're by yourself or with people or with friends or anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like, you know, I agree. Misty is one of our loyal listeners, and she always comes on every week and talks with us. And she's saying everyone should be secure with their own self always. And, you know, it really takes time, I think, for some people to realize their own self-worth and really learn to care about themselves and love themselves. It took me a very long time. And I don't think some people even still recognize their worth. I hear people all the time say, oh, I don't deserve that. And I'm like, what?
Well, that you're exactly right, but that's a much bigger topic and a much bigger show. But the thing is, I believe that we look at holidays, especially this holiday, as something that it needs to fit into a box, or that, you know, while we can sit there and say, yes, self-love, you know, self-respect, self-esteem, all of that, we look at a holiday as something of connection, togetherness, and that other people, you know, shit, we grew up, it was Santa Claus giving us stuff, right? That other people should give us this, that they should give us our own acknowledgement. And it's just not how it works. You know?
You know what? Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Jada. I was just going to address what you said, that, you know, growing up, you know, Santa gave us things. And I just think it was a horrible thing that our ancestors did to us. This whole Santa Claus bullshit, where, you know, some kids just didn't have families that didn't have money, and so they weren't getting Santa presents. And, you know, and growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, and I didn't realize until I became an adult and was a parent myself how difficult the holidays must have been for my parents to give us a holiday. And me as a single mom, I've struggled so many years. The holidays are a really low financial time for me. It has always been a struggle. And it's just, you know, it kind of turned me off from Christmas. And my youngest one absolutely loves Christmas because her dad makes such a big deal out of it. But I always feel bad because I don't want to make a big deal out of Christmas.
Yeah. You know, it's the idea of making a big deal of it. I love it. I missed it. You know, I enjoy it. But I think it's the idea of what I said earlier, of making it your own, or making it your own for you, making it own with your, you know, your family, your, you know, your partner, your boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, whatever. You know, I think it's such a, you know, it's a dorky term, but I think it's pretty cool what people have done with the idea of Thanksgiving and calling it Friendsgiving. Okay. Because that's it. Because I mean, that's the biggest thing. I think that's one of, and regardless of the holidays, Okay. I say, look, the people that I work with, I'll tell them, oh, I forgot you're in the baking
Sorry,
contest.
everybody's sending messages saying they voted for me.
Right.
I love it
One
so
thing I
much.
tell
I'm gonna
people
cry.
is, people think they need to be in a, they come out of something, a bad situation, a big life change, a divorce, whatever. It's, I need a relationship. And you mentioned, we joked about cuffing season, right? I need a relationship. Horseshit. You don't need a relationship. You need a connection. That's what you want. And it's so funny when I actually, talk to the people I work with and peel it back, they don't need a man or a woman. They need a connection. However that may look. It may be romantic, A+. It may be friends. It may be an activity, a community, something, but they want something that allows them to be acknowledged, seen, heard. That's it. And yet we, going back to, keeping with the holiday theme, how things should look. Here's the hole. I have a square hole. A square peg needs to go into that. No, you can reshape that and reform that however you want. So it's not exclusively with a holiday, but really what you're seeking is a connection. That's it. And what that connection means for you, not what it means for Susie Q and Billy Bob up the street.
I believe that the holiday definitely should be celebrated for those people that like that's their jam and they want to celebrate it. But why not have it also be about redefining what joy is to you? Joy for you as a single solo individual could be taking a solo trip or going to the spa or just celebrating yourself.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily have to be all about the couple dumb. Although we all want that, right, during the holidays, because I think, especially in the matchmaking industry, the holidays are like one of the busiest times for us because people are the loneliest, because there's so many visuals and so many things out there that make it seem like you should be with someone during this time of year. But then there's something to be said for celebrating just being on your own and redefining what joy looks like for you.
I think you're exactly right. I think a lot of it has to do with the season. It has to do with the visuals and the optics on it. But I think what's funny, and this is just, it only took me 50 some odd years to figure this shit out. But it's, and many mistakes, but it's the idea of what we touched on earlier. Sometimes you being with the right person, that's everything. But it takes us a long time to understand what that is. Yet the default too many times is I have to be with someone. And again, I go back to that stupid term, the cuffing deal, but that's just it. And Christine may have heard me talk about this before. I call it, in dating a relationship, sometimes I call it the insert guy here theory. Okay. And so, you insert your gender, but it's the idea of they just want someone so bad. They're not in love or attracted to that individual as an individual or as a person. But it's, for example, when you buy a picture frame, right? It usually comes with a good-looking family, the super good-looking couple. All that. You don't know shit about these people, but that's who it is. And what people are looking for, instead of that true, genuine, individual and unique connection for them of what gets them going and what they need in their life, it's an insert guy here theory. I want someone who looks this way, says this, checks this box, and I only want it for a certain period of time because I don't want to be alone. I want it to look a certain way. I have to go to this party. This bitch Susie over here has a guy, and I want somebody now. She looks happy. I mean, it's all of those things. Instead of just taking a beat and taking a step back and go. And again, we started off saying this. We've all been in situations where we've been coupled up, but been miserable. Instead of just saying, hey, what do I really value? What do I really want? What do I bring to the table, right, as well? And that's another one, right? And, corny and cliche it is, but it's you get by giving, you want to be a good partner, you want a good partner, you start by being one, you show up, but we're back to the gifts. What can I get?
Yeah. Country Corners Gazette is here with us again today. Hello, everybody at Country Corners Gazette. Thank you for joining us every week. We love you guys, and we love your comments and your questions. They're saying, seems like a bad thing to step into a situation not worth it. It's not worth it. Like a couple of years ago, it was coming up to New Year's Eve, and I was feeling really kind of sad. I was thinking I was feeling lonely. It was a little bit depressing. And so I was dating at the time, like online dating. And I was just honestly looking for that person that I could spend New Year's Eve with. And there was this really cool dude. He's like, hey, let's go. It's like Latino dancing at this place here in LA.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yes. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to just go. I'm going to laugh and have fun and enjoy it. It was the worst.
Yeah.
We didn't even make it in the door because we got there and he saw that there was a cover charge. Yeah, dude, it's fucking New Year's Eve. Hello. And he's like, I'm not paying $50 each for us to go in. And I looked at him and I was like, why did you invite me out?
Right.
On this night then to go and have fun? He's like, oh, let's just go to a liquor store and grab alcohol and go back to your place. I'm like,
great.
No.
He's 17. Awesome.
No. I'm like, no, that was your plan all along, douchebag. So but for me,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I realized that I would have had a much better time watching the movie I wanted, having the drinks I wanted, having the popcorn I wanted. Yeah. So
I question so much, and this is one of the things I said in my article. When or what year did it become that we romanticized couples over the holiday? Like, when was it when it was like, you have to be in a relationship for the holidays?
I think it's a marketing ploy.
Oh, but no, I think you go back and you look at every, that's the black and white movies. That's been around since the dawn of time. No, I mean, I don't, and I don't think there's anything. It's a great narrative, and it's great when it happens. Yeah. Okay, but I think the in my opinion, the bigger issue is this idea of really getting through it. Okay, because it's not or hey, look, it's a sad state of affairs if all you're doing is, hey, like, I got a 2-week or a 30-day window here where I just need to go hook up with somebody and get somebody.
Which is why cuffing season is stupid.
Just, the bigger issue is the and look, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a therapist, but it's the psychological things that really weigh on people during this season. And it's funny, I did a couple of pieces on social media earlier this week, and it was pretty simple. Right? It's just stop doing shit you hate. And I think there, that can sound rather bitter, but the idea is we feel obligated. And I'm not talking about responsibility. I'm talking about just, fake obligations that we just don't want to do. And I think that's part of it with this holiday season. Of, you know what, I have to go there. I have to do this. And then that peer pressure or social pressure that is there. And I really believe, I know my personal experience. I mean, I've had like good years and bad years, but it's it's easy to default into the wallowing, okay, and to look backwards on either, hey, this happened, okay, or why it's not this. You look at the gap that exists between what you want and the way things should be in your mind versus the way they are. And I advocate, look, I mean, my life changed significantly when I started either, not, I say looking as a single day, but more using that season as a complete reset, as a chance to Jada's point, self-love or reevaluate or restart or anything. And that, I took control of it again rather than allowing it to control me.
Yeah. No, I love that because I do think it's a good time to reset. I mean, a lot of people think, this time of year is the end of a year, a beginning of a new, and, they, whether you do New Year's resolutions or not, I try to do, manifestations that close out a time and open another time for myself. I try to think about it for the first time, really, honestly, ever in my life, to really focus on, like you said, Bradley, thinking about it as a new start, a new time. And it's not so much, I think, a new start. It's like maybe a level up for yourself.
Yeah, that's exactly it. In my opinion, the problem with the whole New Year's resolutions, and we all see this, and more back to social media. New year, new me, awesome, and you spout all the bullshit of what you're going to do. Okay, instead of, and I used to be that guy too. Okay, I mean, oh look, this is it. This year's different. Blah, blah. Instead, it's just shut up, and don't say anything about it, and do it. Okay, but instead. It's this idea of just holding that close to your vest and having that conversation with yourself instead of proclaiming it. Because what happens? And usually there are things like, I'm going to get a new job. I'm going to, find a relationship. I'm going to lose weight. Awesome. But we neglect about the how. Okay. Or, there's the why, obviously, but the how on that. Okay. And I think, one of the things about this reset is really more of, as you pointed, it's leveling up. Okay. It's not anything that is it's aspirational in terms of, hey, I'm going to achieve X. It's more looking in terms of where have you been? What did you learn? Doing a replay. That's it. For me to truly level up, I need to take stock of where I am. Okay.
That's a great idea. And taking stock.
It's just a baseline right there. Okay. Yeah. Where am I? What did I improve on this year? What did I do well this year? Where did I screw the pooch this year? Where can I, what do I want it to look like as well? Yeah. And we say that term manifest, but it's really it. It's just the idea of, okay, how do I want it to look, and how do I want to see myself in that situation?
Yeah.
That's a big one. And we're keeping with our holiday theme. I think that's a big one. It's just, what do you want your holiday to look like? What do you want your friend group to look like? Your family to look like? All of those. Not just, I'm going to have a insert guy here for the holidays so I can go to the party and realize what a jerk they are, and then start over again. I mean, it's really, and you can do this anytime, but the holidays are a good opportunity to start being forward thinking and forward facing, rather than, oh, well, it should have been this. It used to be this. Why not? Okay. What are you going to do about it? So next, it's the George Michael theory. That's what it is. It's the whole Wham thing. Next Christmas. That's it. What are you going to do?
The holidays are a great time for a reset. Reset your thinking, reset your goals for the next year, reset everything. To your point, Bradley, I think it shouldn't be so much about relationships, but it should be about, this is what I accomplished. Let's celebrate my accomplishments over this year. And this is what I want to do moving forward this next year.
Right.
I think that a lot of people also maybe don't have a great family dynamic, and they go to family holidays and it's a disaster, and they're depressed and sad and they hate it and they fight. I always say, you know what? If you don't have that, and like someone like me, I don't have family out here. All my family is somewhere else. I just have my kids, and my friends. And I always say, my friends are my family. So, it's like making your own tradition. And a friend of ours, Janice, who is a friend of the show, she's got her own podcast. She talks about every year solo traveling.
Right.
And she goes to her favorite place every holiday, Christmas holiday, to treat herself. And I think that's a great idea. Like, go and do something. And she likes to solo travel. I'm not a huge fan of solo traveling, but even if it's like getting your girlfriends together or your, coworkers, and everybody go and do something, who maybe don't have somewhere to go for the holidays.
Right. You said that about the family dynamic, and I think that's an excellent point right there. It's I'm looking at the comments.
Me too.
Me
Who's
too.
the bigger problem? The one just picking up a rando to take around to the holidays, or the one being picked?
Well, it's kind of like they say, if you can't identify the village idiot, it might be you. So
Right, Misty? I'm sure, Misty, you're not the one they're picking up to be. Hopefully not. I think I have been picked up during the holidays and dumped after Valentine's Day. It's you know what? It does not mean that you're the bad problem here. It doesn't mean that you're someone to be looking down on yourself just because some douchebag came along and decided to cuffing season with you and you innocently gave your heart and then they walked away. That's
Right.
their problem, not
Yeah.
yours.
I want to get back to what we're saying about the family dynamic, because I think that's such a huge part.
Yeah.
Whether you are married with someone, single, doesn't matter. You still have a family dynamic if you have a family, because a lot of people don't. I understand that too.
Right.
But assuming you have a family dynamic, two things with that. You may have grown. You may have spent this year working on yourself. You may have evolved. You may be, you just may be a totally different, better human being. Okay. That doesn't mean everybody around you has. And
Correct.
the problem is when you go back to a family environment and you will show up differently. They don't recognize you. And I'm not talking physical appearance. It's like, oh my God, you're kind of cocky, or we used to do this, or that doesn't sound like you, because they probably still see you as a 14-year-old kid, or and that's it. And that's their own frame of it. But and that's a problem. I had a cousin who, I swear to God, even until our late 40s, he would still just kind of address me and issues and things like we were teenagers. I'm like, Jesus, dude. I mean, it's so much. Or parents do this as well. And that's a really rough one with sibling rivalries or parents and things of that nature. And yet, here's the thing: when we get and I did this for a long time. You take the bait, you fall for it, and nothing will piss you off worse. And all the work you've done, you just fall back into it of taking the bait and getting into an argument. And what I want people to understand is, in a situation like this, is you actually, one, the simple word is boundaries. But it's you have control. Just you actually get to control things. You don't have to engage in every conversation. You don't have to answer back. You don't have to talk politics. You don't have to talk religion. You don't have to address that snide comment that they have. You can actually say, you know what? I'm leaving after dessert. I don't have to sit around. Or you can actually, be a grown-ass adult and say, you know what? That's a topic I really don't want to talk about right now. And yet we feel that, well, it's family. I have to do this. I have to make. No, you don't. You don't be an ass, but you can actually take care of yourself and establish how long you stay, what you open up about, how you respond to things. And yet, I guarantee you there's going to be so many people after the day after Christmas. Can you believe what this is? And you fell for it. You just bumped into it and you took it. And I still do this. I know I'm saying this. I'm not immune. I still find myself in situations. This week I was talking to Shannon about this. I mean, a couple times the past 2 weeks, I took the bait, did something. But the deal is, if you,
it's hard.
It is hard, but if you at least acknowledge it and you can catch it earlier, then you're going to be making some progress and you're going to be happier at the end.
Yeah. I don't go home for the holidays back home to Wyoming. First of all, I am not going back there, freezing my ass off, and have the possibility of getting stranded there with the snow. Not going to happen. I am staying in sunny California. Thank you very much.
How are you going to meet the handsome widowed veterinarian?
Right.
Yeah, we don't have shit back there. This is the smallest town. It is 175 people. There ain't no new vet. It's the same old shit that's always been there.
Tractor sexy. There you go.
Whenever I do go home, I typically go home in the summer because it's so beautiful. I went home this past summer with my friend Janice. And I told her, I said, I got to warn you, if we see my step grandfather, be prepared. I used to be super thin, like beyond skinny. And I modeled for like almost 30 years. I modeled a long time. And it wasn't until later in life that I started becoming a more curvy woman, right? A woman. Let's put that out there. I became a woman. I was no longer a little girl. And I said to my friend, I said, you got to be careful and just don't worry about it. I don't care about it anymore. But I have a step grandfather that's going to give me hell about my weight. Sure enough. She's like, "Oh yeah, I don't." She thought I was kidding. Nope. He walks in. It doesn't matter how many people are there. He always says, "Oh, you're still fat."
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
And he said, "What happened to you? You're still fat." And I said, "Well, what happened to you? You're still an asshole." And he just laughed it off. And my friend Janice, she got all upset and she's like glaring at him and giving him a look and huffing around. And I'm laughing because I just don't give a fuck.
Right.
He can tease me all I want. I know I'm comfortable in my skin. I'm happy. And he said to her, "What?" And she said, "That is the rudest thing I've ever heard in my life." He goes, "What?" She knows I say it out of love. I go, "I know he says it out of bullshit,
Right.
so I don't care."
That's like no offense, but no offense is not a license to say whatever the hell you want.
Right.
But
Families are difficult. Families have no filter. If you know, personally, I say, if you know you have a family that is just going to be making you feel down in the dumps or making you feel shitty and it's not a good thing, make your own holiday plans. Do your own thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be about being with somebody. You can
Right.
definitely enjoy, similar to what you said, Bradley. I believe you talked about Friendsgiving. Like you can do that same thing with the holidays. Like I'm having girlfriends over next week because we just want to celebrate and have a good time and enjoy
Isn't that the whole idea, though? I mean,
yes.
I'll Hallmark card on you on this, but I mean, it's the idea of it's the holidays, about celebrating the people you love, about joy. Then be around the people you love. Don't necessarily put yourself in a situation where someone's going to call you fat or give you a hard time or do these things. And that's that. And I understand sometimes you have to go, and it's just it's going to happen. But to my point, I mean, like Christine, when that happens, you knew it was going to happen, and I don't mean that badly, but I mean it's like, they're an ass. Okay,
it used to bother me. It does not bother me anymore.
The problem is because it's back to us having control of us handling ourselves and how we respond to a situation. And it's easy. I get it. Like I said, I mean, I did this year. I can take 3 examples where I just completely took the bait and lost my shit. But it's this idea of if you step back and you go, okay, that's who they are. You know it's coming. Okay. I'm not saying, oh, turn the other cheek. Yeah. Okay. But, let them have their thing. You know who they are. Walk away because you're taking control of the situation again. And you can make it what you want by taking yourself out of it or by surrounding yourself with the people who you actually want to be around. Or if not, just go do something that makes you happy.
Right.
I know it's
simple, but
yeah.
Rebel.
Okay. So
Rebel.
What did this relative of yours? He said what?
He said, "What happened?" He goes, "Oh, you're still fat."
And if you would have turned around and said, "And you're still an asshole, so I guess we're even."
Oh, I did. Yeah. That's exactly what I said. Normally in the past, I'd say, "You're such a jerk," whatever, and I'd walk away upset. This time I'd said, "Oh, well, you're still an asshole. So what happened to that?"
Did he catch it, and did he realize that, hey, wait, she said something back this time?
Yeah, he actually went back into his house, came back out with old photos of me from my modeling days and gave it to me. And I was like, thanks.
Wow.
Thanks for the reminder. And he's like, oh, I just thought maybe you might want to have these. You gave them to me a long time ago. And I was like, whatever. And then he did hug me and say, I love you. I love seeing you. I just know since the time I was 6, oh my God, maybe 3 or 4 years old, I remember him making me cry all the time. So it's just one of those people I've learned to not give two shits about what he says. So
I'm sorry you had to go through that. And if I ever go with you, he'll never do that to you again. I
all right,
promise.
Rebel, I'm taking you home with me next time. Who all wants to go? Wyoming needs more people.
Prepared, because these people will be shocked and awed, and they will probably never, ever insult a person again.
I love
there
that.
you go.
Thank you. You're so
Rebel
sweet. I love it.
sweet.
So I think that, people, for me, my best advice for people should be just do what you think you should do for the holidays. You
But
don't
have
have to
fun.
say, yeah,
It
you don't
doesn't
have
be
to go
depressing.
somewhere you
It
don't
doesn't
want to
have
go.
be sad.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Do your thing. Take time to take stock, like Bradley said, and figure out what you did for the year, how you did it. Where could you find improvement? Where did you kick ass and reward yourself? And then for the new year, maybe don't think of it as manifesting or New Year's resolutions. Maybe do what Bradley said and do what can I do to improve myself this year? What are the goals I have for the year? What makes me happy?
Right.
Things like that.
Yep.
Well, but also celebrate yourself. Like, being single during Christmas doesn't mean you have to be miserable. Like, celebrate
Exactly.
you, like celebrate who you are and celebrate where you've come and whether it's business goals similar to what you're saying, or like
Personal.
family dynamics, personal dynamics. Like, just celebrate that. It's redefining what joy is to you. And I will say that a million times over, and I say it to my clients all the time. It's not about, you don't have to be in a relationship. You can redefine what joy is for you, what makes you happy, and celebrate that.
Yeah.
Well, and to your point, I mean, again, bigger show, bigger topic. I mean, it's redefining, not just joy, like you said, but you can. I think that's part of when I talk about advanced adulting. We spent so many of our years, our formative years, doing what people told us. And oftentimes for good reason. Okay. Stay in school, don't do drugs, don't do this, that, the other. I get it. And then we start to flex a little bit in our 20s, but oftentimes a lot of us have gone back. Okay. Whether you get married, you get in a relationship, you get a job, whatever, and you do what you're supposed to do. Okay. I'm not advocating going out and being full on rebel there, but the point is, by the time you hit your 40s or 50s, you sit there and you go, wow, I did what I was supposed to do, or I did the formula. And guess what? That either didn't work, didn't feel right, doesn't work for me. And so what happens is the Etch-a-Sketch gets shaken and we get to start over. Or reevaluate.
Yeah, I love that.
That's the deal and too many times people look at, in my experience, what can I add to it and do great. But what have you learned from this? Take the best of it, clear the deck on what doesn't work, and then start to, rebuild what joy means to you, what a relationship means to you. And of all the people I work with, it frustrates me, but I just shut it down pretty quickly when this happens. Okay. When someone goes, well, that's not right. They're not right. It shouldn't. I go, what's right? And this is the whole takeaway for this, for holidays, for anything. What's right? At this age, what is right is what's right for you. Because what's right for Jada may not be right for me. And it might not be right for Christine or Billy Bob or whomever. And so you have earned that right to define and to have whatever is right for you in your life and how you see things and what you call a relationship, how you call a holiday, how you choose to celebrate it, what you choose to do. And it's because you've had, 20, 30 years of experience doing it a different way. Hey, you know what? I have some more time, hopefully. I want to do it. So what's right is what's right for you right now.
I love that. That is the best parting words I think we've ever had for the show. Yes,
Thank
let's
you,
go into the
Bradley.
holidays doing what's right for you. I love it. Thank you, everyone, for joining us again today. We appreciate your support. Thank you all for voting for me. I love it. Bradley, you're the man.
Bradley, thank
Thank
you.
You are
Thanks
amazing.
for having
You
me.
will
Always
be
happy to
back.
come back.
You are the shit. Jada, love you so much. Glad you didn't die from COVID. I
Thank
will
you.
talk to you after the show.
Okay.
And until next week, when we will be back, same place, same time, we have a very, very awesome show for you next week.
It's
It's
gonna be good.
Orgasmic National Orgasmic Day. So we have a very spicy show for you. Anyway, come back and see us again. Until next week, let's keep this shit real.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends, like and follow us on Instagram at 50 Shades of _bullshit and Facebook at 50 Shades of Bullshit. Thanks so much for listening, and we really hope to see you again next week.